past few years have been very challenging for Oman's economy and businesses. With high volatile oil prices and the Muscat securities market recording its worst dip since 2011, there has always been a question, where are we heading next? New year, new beginning. Last week we had the new state budget, which projects a higher spending and a lower deficit. But yet, the question remains, is the worst over, or are there still challenges that we face in 2019? Joining us in conversation today is Mr. Lo'ai Bataineh, the CEO of U Capital. And who better than him to tell us where exactly is the economy headed in 2019? Right. So Mr. Bataineh, it has been a tough year in 2018, but things are looking positive. So do you really think that the worst is behind us?
Yeah, in order to answer you, let us go back to 2018 and what's happened in 2018. Actually, within 2018, we have a lot of issues which impacted the market, impacted the economy, impacting the opinions.
What went wrong there?
Actually, first and the most important thing, lack of liquidity. A lot of people, they change their mind, they change their investment appetite, they move from more conservative approach, because that most of the assets and liquidities move to either fixed income instrument or deposits. Number two, the uncertainty across the globe and uncertainty across the region. Uncertainty across the globe because of interest rates moving up and the new tariff, the new taxes is implemented, the cost of operation, the difficulty of doing business, easiest of doing things.
So in 2019, are we still facing challenges? Do you still see blockages and barriers that might be?
Yeah, in 2019, slightly the issue is different. The 2019 budget is a little bit different compared to 2018. And
it's more positive, do you think?
It's true. Number one, even though I might disagree with the oil prices, they budget the oil price at 58 compared with the $50 last year. Little bit aggressive, but this is giving more room to the government to spend more. The allocation of the investment expenditure and infrastructure expenditure is moved to totally will come to 3.7 billion Omani. This will give good room and big room to companies, construction companies, engineering companies, where they can get some part of this pie. Banks will get benefit of that because more liquidity will be available in the market.
Which is good for them.
Yeah, definitely. Because that financial sector, industrial sector in particular, they should get benefit. When we talk about infrastructure project, we talk about roads, bridges, ports, airports, etc. And these things can be basically utilized by local companies, and they can be more active, and the in-country value will be more compared other sophisticated projects like petrochemical, etc. When we talk about infrastructure projects in particular, means we can see more visibility for local companies in these projects. At the same time, actually, there is a lot of talks and discussions about geopolitical tensions. We talk about Yemen issue, there is some relaxation. If Yemen issues has been relaxed, I think Oman will be one of the benefit in terms of easing the relation between Yemen and within GCC, and they can get a lot of business from Yemen.
Right.
The surprise in the budget, actually, this is the first time last 5 years the non-oil revenues it's went down compared with I'm talking about the budget. I'm not sure why it's been down, even though we were going through diversification last couple of years. Maybe still the economy and the regulators need more time to get the recover of diversification.
Right.
Tanfiz basically labs still we start to feel the impact, but it looks like it will take more time than projected.
So the government has set aside 3.7 billion Omani riyals for infrastructure, projects in development, services and the industrial sector. Do you see this announcement affecting companies and businesses in Oman, and how is it profitable? Where are the segments that people can take advantage of this allocation?
As I mentioned, this 3.7 in particular, there was no detailed budget expenses for that. They're talking in general. Apart from that, there will be 1.2 billion Oman Riyal for infrastructure projects, I assume roads, dams, bridges, etc. the balance, as per the announcement, they said 2.5 will be spent by government, corporate or government institutions which they have investment locally. It means that if you ask me, maybe it could be Oman Oil, Oman Airport, etc. These type of companies. But what I can say, 3.7, if it's been focused locally to these companies, means that most of their investment will be locally. It means that local companies, in particular construction companies, financial sector, service sector, industrial sector will get benefit a lot, because by nature it's not petrochemicals. Right. It's not something sophisticated.
We are moving away from the oil-based economy.
Yes, it means that we are moving to where a service sector where we can get more in country value, and also these companies can create more jobs. This right. is. But to answer you, yeah, companies in Oman, local companies, listed and non-listed, will get benefit of that. The impact of this budget on local market, as I mentioned, not only will be on the companies, actually financial sector will get benefit, because if the government start to pay on time, they are paying on time, yes. And companies, they get benefit, construction, service, industrial companies, they start getting contracts from government companies and infrastructure, and of course private sector will participate in that. Means that loans will be settled on time, cash flow will be there, banks will get benefit, liquidity will be improved, M1, M2 will improve, money supply and 2 levels. It means that the economy will start to revive. To answer you, means that consumer behavior will change, ability to spend will be improved. It means that people they can do shopping.
You just made me happy. I'm getting my Cartier bracelets and my Gucci.
Good.
That's one thing I was looking forward for.
Good.
Yes. Thank you, Lo'ai, for joining us in conversation. It was really nice to have your perspective about the budget. On that note, inshallah, 2019 is going to be a good year, so says Lo'ai. And thank you for watching. This is Mr. Lo'ai Bataineh in Conversation. Thank you for joining the conversation. Stay tuned as we bring more conversations to see who's saying what and where we're going next.